we all go way back, honestly. So yeah, it's a weird shift, those moments. I don't know. This might be the first time I've ever really experienced it as significant as I am right now, but where every little thing is going to be different next week. Like every single thing that I do, every routine that I have will be different. And that comes with a little bit of anxiety of just like, am I going to be okay? Like, what's actually happening here? But obviously, like what Allison and I were just talking about is that sometimes you do things and you can't explain why you do them, but you're doing the right thing. And we had talked about a couple of weeks ago, right? And it's like, I can't explain why this is the right choice, but I'm going to make it. And maybe that explanation is that we just know, we know ourselves, right? And I talk a lot about the open doors, the open windows, what doors are locked, what windows are locked, and we don't want to keep pushing on doors that are locked. But that metaphor of thinking, if we are open and available to experiencing those open doors and windows, that maybe if our head was down or we weren't looking up or experiencing the world or present, or we didn't understand ourselves the way that we do because we get on our mats every week, every day, how often you get to practice, we would miss so many things, right? We would miss so many things, or we wouldn't have the courage to say, I don't actually know if this is going to work, but this is what I'm doing. And I'm here to experience whatever it brings to me. And that kind of plays in, like Sophie and I were talking the other night, and I said, no choice you make is actually permanent. Like this whole world, there's an impermanence to it, right? Like everything we do is impermanent. And that's very, very scary to admit. That's very, very scary to say, okay, this is impermanent, right? Everything is impermanent. But I think if you embrace that and say, I can try this, I can do this, I can make this choice. And it doesn't mean that I've, committed something to stone, but I'm testing things out. I'm putting my toes in the water. I'm seeing if it's cold. I'm seeing if it's warm. I'm seeing if it makes sense for me. So, here we are. Lots of changes, right? You walk up, you're like, there's a lot of things going on here. And Vu said, you want to stay away? I'm like, no, you want to come in. Like these are miracles happening. This group is inviting in change and courage and support and love. And she just told me the story about her dad and how it happened because of Om Yoga, because she found you on Instagram. And what a wild story. But you're inviting in things because we're available for it, right? Making ourselves available for miracles. And I think it's very rare you have a group where you can say, like, everybody sitting in this semicircle is willing to invite all of that in. It's not easy. Those things are difficult. You started a whole yoga club based on this interaction that you had on Instagram. And yeah, it's just cool. It's just cool. We're just talking about these things. Like, it's just cool. So you want to join us, right, Vu? They want to join us. You don't want to stay away. You want to join us. You want to invite people into the miracles that we get to experience just by being near each other and just by experiencing this practice together. So that might sound really crazy, or you might be like, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. But like this practice, wherever it is, you're like, that's fucking crazy, y'all. We're just like really doing it around here. So anyways, let's change the world. Let's change the world. That's all. Just in an hour. What'd you say? What? Yeah. Yeah. Just like no hats. We'll just have robes, just no hats. That was too much, too far. Yeah, so it's crazy. We're doing it, y'all. I really truly believe that. We're doing that. We're doing it. We are doing it. So we're gonna start in child's pose. Give me a little bit of child's pose. We'll just start to breathe. See if I can attach to this. You know how we always fight with Bluetooth around these parts. And start to breathe.
I hope that they have found the life that they wanted more.
So, I don't know, I say things like that and maybe it feels big, but we invite in the good, we invite in the experience, we invite in the presence, we invite in the ability to witness the open doors, the open windows, what's meant for us that we have no control over. And I told Allison that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to disrupt the norm, to disrupt the status quo, to disrupt maybe the path that you believed was meant for you and do something completely different. That's courageous. That's massive. But also, we're able to support a little bit of ease with this practice. So maybe start to experience that here with the deep breath in through the nose, the deep full breath out. Maybe it's through the nose, maybe it's an open mouth exhale just to start. Maybe you widen the knees a bit and letting the heart settle down towards the mat. Just settle in, experience, be present to this practice this morning. And if that feels too big, you're just here. You're just here for an hour to breathe, to move, to feel good. Maybe sending gratitude for this moment, gratitude for each other. I know I am, because it is a miracle. You really start to analyze, how did we get here? The moving pieces that allowed this to be possible might have been and probably were out of our control, but we get to experience them. Like 3 more breaths right here. And that could really solidify an intention for you this morning. Or maybe a little bit of a release. And after your 3rd full round of breath, a deep full inhale, deep full release, exhale, just start to press yourself up to a tabletop position, pulling those knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, and take some intuitive movement. So some movement that feels right for you this morning. It could be a cat-cow, it could be extending one leg then the other, it could be a twist. Yeah. Check in. Get familiar with the body, get familiar with this present moment and what you need, what it means to you. Maybe release the expectation if there was one, if there are any. Checking back in with the breath and how it exists with the body and your energy this morning. Like 1 or 2 more breaths of movement, even out if you were in asymmetrical movement. And start to come back to that tabletop position. Just taking a deep breath in, lengthening through the spine, deep full breath out. And start to send the feet long in a high plank position just for positioning here. Take an inhale. Deep exhale, send the hips up and back, your first downward facing dog of the practice. Pedal out one foot, then the other. These familiar poses, we talk about that a lot too. These familiar poses can sometimes feel unfamiliar depending on where we're at for the day, but use the breath to guide you. What do you need? What do you need to give away this morning? Practice and release, or practice and adding in. On your inhale, lift the heels up high, gaze forward, tiptoe the feet all the way up to meet the hands top of the mat. Yeah, letting the hands hang heavy, taking any variation of this ragdoll. So you might reach for opposite elbows. You might tuck the hands underneath the feet. You might give those legs a hug, deep bend in the knees. That can be friendly, letting the chest settle down towards the thighs. Yeah, good. Experiencing the length in the backs of the legs, experiencing the length in the back of the neck, maybe, if you let that crown settle down towards the mat. Good. Some sways side to side. I'm seeing some pedaling out through the legs, straightening through one, and then the other. Let it be yours right here, right now. And start to come to stillness. On your inhale, take a halfway lift, long, straight, flat back. Engage the belly, squeeze the inner thighs, even if they're not touching. Exhale, forward fold all the way back down. Do that 2 more times. Strong halfway lift on an inhale, reaching the crown towards me. Exhale, everything settles back down towards the mat. Last one, inhale, maybe reaching the fingertips long back behind you, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, fold. All the way up, extended mountain, sweep the fingertips up and high. Then capturing your right wrist, pull it up towards the sky, big lean over to the left. Good, really filling up through that right side body, expansive through the lungs, big inhale. Root down through both feet, big exhale, stay. Inhale, come back up through center switch, capturing your left wrist, guide it up towards the sky, big lean over towards the right. Big inhale, fill up. Root down through the feet, big exhale, find space. Up through center, inhale here. Exhale, swan dive all the way down, take up space, hands heavy. Inhale, find that halfway lift. So same one, nice and strong, belly on. Exhale, plant the hands, step 1 foot back, then the other, high plank. Shift slightly forward, knees can come down, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, tops of the feet, press down. 3 baby cobras on an inhale, peel the chest up and off of the mat. Root down through the tops of the feet, engage the belly on your own breath. Your exhale brings you all the way back down. Good, 2 more just like that. Big breath in. Big exhale, release. I see you, Amber. Big inhale. Big exhale. 1 more. I think she's in her classroom. See, that's what's up. You take your mat to the classroom. These virtual friends of ours, so good. And after that last full exhale, everything roots down. Tuck the toes, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take the hips high. Take a big inhale. Full exhale. I'll think about it. These movements, this breath, it's changing the world, right? 1 step at a time, it really truly is. We're open to the open doors. We're open to the open windows. The decisions that don't make sense to us, the decisions that were meant for us, that maybe don't make sense in the moment, but here they are, they're at our laps. They'll make sense further down the line, but we can't assess, we can't assign value to every single moment until we realize, oh, this is why we're here. This is why we've shown up. Right? I can't explain to you or tell you why I'm making the move that I am right now, but who knows? And maybe I'll be back. Who knows? There's no shame in that either. Take a deep breath in. Deep, full breath out. Maybe Allison couldn't explain why she was called to reach out to Sophie, but here we are. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, step through right foot, right thumb, not lung. Lower the left knee down. And that vacuum cleaner, right, Allison, that you're going to start teaching for me on Tuesdays, start to shift forwards, backwards, maybe side to side. Just feel some movement in the backs of the leg, the inner thigh, right? You can't always explain. Maybe you can. Why are you called to do something? Why are you called to say yes or say no? And then maybe one day it presents itself. It starts to make sense. You can assign value to it and understand we're open to that experience. Start to come up through center, walk the hands inside of the right foot, swivel that left heel behind the right, and maybe you walk the hands forward. Think about wrapping that right hip underneath you, really feeling the inner thigh stretch on the right side of the leg. Just movement to feel good this morning, the movement to check in with the body. What do you need? What do we need as a collective? Start to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Frame that right foot. Bring that left heel back behind you. Tuck the left toes. Lift the left knee. Pivot halfway to the left. Find your prasarita. Let the head hang heavy. You might shift side to side. Little inner thigh work. You might experience it through the backs of the legs just by letting yourself hang heavy, slight bend in the knee. It's powerful. If you allow things to be, you don't have to assign value to every experience. Allow the magic to unfold, the miracle to unfold. And that's not always easy. There are things that happen that are difficult. Come back through center, even out, find a halfway lift. Inhale here. Walk to the back of the mat. Frame the left foot at the back of the mat. Step the right foot up to meet the left, forward fold. Take that halfway lift. Deep inhale. Exhale, fold. Sit the hips low, keep them low. Just sweep the fingertips high, find chair pose. Squeezing the inner thighs, pulling the shins towards what used to be the front of the mat, right? So pull them back. Engage the belly. Inhale, take the hands to the heart center. Exhale here. Deep breath in. Twist over to the right. So remember that left elbow can come outside of the right thigh, or maybe inner left thigh if it's too deep a twist just to start the practice. Find the breath. And inhale, come back through center. Exhale, deep twist over to the left. Deep or gentle, kind of up to you, right? What's going to feel good? Lengthen the spine. Reaching that crown forward. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, forward fold. Straighten out through the legs gently, slightly. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Option to lower all the way down again once more, or lowering halfway down, finding your chaturanga, upward facing dog. Your choice. Skip it all together. Maybe hold the plank, sending the hips back, downward facing dog, holding here with breath. Could be different. Deep breath in. Full deep breath out. Send the left foot high. Inhale. Exhale, step through lunge, left foot, left thumb. Lower the right knee down, finding that vacuum cleaner. So sending the hips forwards, backwards, side to side. Just intuitive movement. Yeah, and then you'll meet me in that lunge, that deep lunge, hands inside of the left foot. Swivel that right heel behind the left heel. And then maybe walking the hands forward or slightly over towards the right. Wrapping that left hip underneath you. Good team. Good. Start to come back through center. Framing the left foot, bringing that right heel back behind you, tuck the toes, lift the right knee, pivot halfway to the right, your prasarita this side. Maybe working into some skandasana if you like to shift side to side, deep bend, one side, then the other. A lot of choice here. Choice in movement. Recognize it's impermanent. Can choose differently. If you choose something that doesn't work out, choose something different. If it doesn't feel good, you know that in your body. That's same with life. Just pay attention to the signals, the signs, not assigning value to everything. So to come back through center, finding that prasarita, then halfway lift, long flat back. As you walk to the front of the mat, frame the right foot, step the left foot up to meet the right, forward fold, top of the mat. This time, come up high, reach the fingertips high, extended mountain. Then interlace all 10 behind the low back, roll the shoulders back. Remember that bell, keep it down. So ribs to hip point, so we're not cracking open there, right? Take a deep breath in, broad chest. Exhale, you can forward fold with the bound hands or not, up to you. Once you get there, think about rolling the shoulders back once again. If they started to sag towards the midline or sag in, roll forward, pull them back. Feel the stretch through the chest. Take a deep breath in. Release the hands down long. Exhale. Find your halfway lift. Inhale here. Exhale, plant the hands, option to flow. Any variation that works for you, meeting in downward facing dog. Good team. Check in with the breath. It's not working if we're not breathing. It's our guide. It's our North Star. Full inhale. Full exhale. One more here. Inhale here. Full deep breath out here. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, right foot, right thumb, step it up. Meet me in warrior two. So spin that back heel down. Check it out though, right? So check it out. So maybe you straighten out through the right leg, come back into it, crown stacked over hips. Maybe it's slightly back. What does your body need? Might not be that 90-degree angle with the back foot. Just check in. Take a deep breath in. Full deep breath out, expansive chest. Big inhale. Full exhale, soften the shoulders. Inhale, reverse it, reach the right hand up and back. Maybe a variation. So sometimes we reach that left hand for that right rib. If we want to feel the expansion here, maybe we reach the left hand for the right elbow, find a little bit more space in the right side body. Commit to the bend in the front leg though, wrap that right hip underneath you, take an inhale. Stay here for the exhale. On your inhale, straighten out through the right leg. Maybe you press that left hip slightly forward, find some space to the right side, release the right hip. Then exhale, hands to mat, frame the right foot. Send the right foot high, inhale here. Good. Knee to nose, pull it in, nice and strong. Belly is strong, inhale, send it up. Good, right knee, left tricep, pull it across, pause, hold here. Yes, so it's like a twist. Good, inhale, send it high. Good, exhale, shift forward. Keep that right foot lifted. Just pause in that high plank. Yeah, a little bit of work here, right? Pull the belly up, pull the belly up. Maybe you ground the right foot. Maybe you flow with that right foot lifted, up to you. Meeting me in downward facing dog. Eventually use your breath as a guide. Yeah, what do you need right now? Do you need that strength or a little bit of space? Find the breath. Good. Inhale, send the left foot high. Exhale, take it through left foot, left thumb. Come all the way up, warrior two. All right, military plane. Thank you. Check it out, right? So you might straighten out through that left leg. You might settle and back into it here. You might have that 90-degree angle. It's your body. Feel the breath. What do you need? If it's hitching, maybe it's a something little different. Good. Next, inhale, reverse it. Left fingertips up and back. Find that variation. The right hand might reach for the left rib cage just to feel the length and expansion here, or reaching for the left elbow. Your choice. Take a deep breath in. Settle and soften on the exhale. On your inhale, reverse triangle. So straightening out through the left leg. Maybe pushing that right hip slightly forward. Length through the left side body. One more deep breath in. Exhale, hands to mat. Frame that left foot. Send the left foot high on an inhale. Knee to nose. Exhale, round through the spine, belly on. Good. Inhale, send it up and high. Take it across. Left knee, right tricep. Feel the twist. Lift high. Press into the mat with the hands. Good. Inhale, send it high. Shift forward. Keep it lifted. Belly on. Feel that power there. Maybe you flow with the left foot lifted. Up to you. Beautiful variations, team. You can let that left foot ground down. Send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Full exhale. Go a little bit different. Send the right foot high. Exhale, right foot, right thumb. Inhale, windmill up, warrior two. Exhale, just soften into it here. Inhale, reverse it. Reach the right hand up and back. Feel the space. Listen, exhale, right back, warrior two. Keep the bend in the front knee. On your inhale, star pose, point the toes up, hands high. Point the left toes back. Exhale, warrior two, back side of the mat. Good. Inhale, reverse it. Reach up and back. Exhale, hands to mat. Frame the left foot. Different still, send the right foot high, standing splits. So you're folding over that left leg. Now maybe flatten out through the back just a little bit. Play with the hip position. So you might open and stack the hip here. So just lifting open. Maybe you find a Shiva. So right knee, left calf. It's going to feel good. Maybe you close it down. Open up, close down. Your choice. Just playing with the positioning. Where are you settling in here? Take another deep breath in. Maybe send that right foot high. Feeling that standing splits. Right foot, left foot meet, forward fold. Take a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Deep bend in the knees. Inhale, chair pose. Sit the hips low. Arms come high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Just pause here. Good. Take a deep breath in. Maybe sit a little bit lower. Deep breath out. Inhale, stand tall. Extended mountain reach. Exhale, forward fold all the way down to the mat. Halfway lift. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands to mat. Option to flow. Meet in downward facing dog. That little bit of heat, huh? Good squat. Good, Allison. Meet me there. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Send the left foot high. Inhale. Exhale, step through lunge. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, soften, settle, right? We already checked it out. Inhale, reverse it. Reach the fingertips up and back. Exhale, warrior two. Stay committed to the bend. Inhale, lift up, star pose. Point the toes. Point the right toes forward. Warrior two on a deep breath out. On your inhale, reverse it. Reach up and back. Good. Exhale, hands to mat. Frame the right foot. Standing splits on an inhale, left leg high. Pause. Pause here. You start to open the hip maybe on this side, maybe close it down with that Shiva squat, maybe testing the balance as the fingertips hover up the mat. Up to you. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectly structured. It has to work for you. Good. Maybe one more inhale as you come back to the standing splits. Left foot meets the right, forward fold, top of the mat. Find that halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. This time right away, all the way up, extended mountain sweep the fingertips high. Maybe close off the eyes as you come right back down, strong belly. Exhale, take that halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale, plant the hands, downward facing dog, meet me there. So a lot of options to flow. You don't have to take them all. I don't always offer that many. Usually I kind of like move you around the mat, right? But if you want that strength, it's yours. And honestly, strength and skipping them sometimes too. Find the breath. Full inhale, full deep exhale. Full inhale, full deep exhale. Cool. We're gonna add some things on. So building that heat, add some things on, kind of move towards our purpose of practice, right? If we haven't already, but inhale sends the right leg high. Exhale, step through lunge. Meet me in warrior two. So coming up, warrior two, arms come high. Inhale, reverse it. Take it up and high. You've got the length in the side body. Then on your exhale, real deep. So if you've been with me, real deep side angle pose. So sometimes we stay lifted, we stay away. I really want you to fold inside of your right leg almost. Left fingertips can come higher. Spin that left thumb down and start to find a full bind or maybe half bind if that's all that's working for you. A lot of flexion in the right hip, right? So we're really, really deep in there. And sometimes we say, open up the chest, but your chest likely is going to have to be pointed a little bit down towards the mat to really feel that full bind and not sacrifice anything in the shoulders. So just pay attention here. Take a deep breath in and whatever bind variation, it could be half, it could be none. And slowly start to release the bind. Just take both hands inside of the right foot. Then you're going to walk the hands over to the left, find a skandasana, release the right leg. Left hand comes down, right fingertips come up, maybe reach them back. Feel the length in the side of the right leg. Releasing it here. And walking back towards the front of the mat, frame the right foot. Just step back, meet me in downward facing dog. Good team. Left leg come high, inhale. Step through lunge. Meet me up in warrior two. Reverse it on your next breath in. And then that big deep side angle. So left shoulder coming inside of the left knee, really finding the depth there. And then maybe finding half bind, full bind, right? And we're not symmetrical, so it's going to feel different from side to side, right? It's going to feel different from side to side. Think about the length we created on the side bodies. Little tiny bit of shoulder work, not really a ton. Strength here. Good. Bring both hands down to the mat inside of the left foot. Walk all the way over to the right. Find your skandasana release in the left side. So right hand can come down, left hand can reach way over towards the back of the mat. Good. Start to crawl back towards the front of the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Yeah, Vu, you were right. It would have been good to send the foot high and maybe open the hips. See, you know, I'm like, yeah, that actually looked like a really good release. I should have used that. We know. Take a deep breath in. You naturally teach me things, you all, like what you do in your body to release. I'm like, yeah, that's a good release. Maybe shaking the hips side to side. We're going to move through that full flow, but we're going to add some things in. Maybe some character, some choice. Take your right leg high. Inhale here. Exhale, step through lunge. Inhale, open up, reverse it right away. Coming into that reverse warrior two. Exhale, right back to your warrior two. Inhale, up through star. Exhale, warrior two, back of the mat. Point the left toes. Inhale, reverse it here. Listen, exhale, side angle, maybe with that half bind. Now, where we're going, you might want to take the bind away, but we're coming into a bound half moon. So it can be that half bind, it could be a full, but it's going to change a little bit, right? You got to hop the right toe up slightly as you start to lift it and balance on the left leg. With the bind, it's going to feel a little bit closed off. That's okay. That's why we played with the closing and opening of the hip. It's going to feel a little bit more like a warrior three in the hips sometimes. Yeah, good, Allison. There you go, guys. Take a deep breath in. Close the hips off, hands down to the mat. Both feet meet, forward fold. Just take a moment here. Take a moment here. Take a halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. All the way up, extended. Then just take your hands behind your low back, and you're actually just going to keep your thumbs on your low back or your little tailbone area, and you're going to press it slightly forward just to feel a little bit of release in the front hip flexors. Lots of flexion to get into that. Take a deep breath in. Come back up straight on your exhale, hands by your side. Inhale, sweep them high. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale, second to last option to flow. Meet me in downward facing dog. Beautiful, beautiful team. Catch the breath. When you come here, catch the breath. And then inhale, sends the left foot high. Exhale, step through lunge. Inhale, reverse warrior two right away. On your exhale, just warrior two, come back, commit to it. Inhale, lift up, star, point those toes slightly right, toes towards the front of the mat, warrior two here. Reverse it on a deep breath in, reach up and back. Then exhale, finding that side angle pose, now knowing where we're going. So coming to your variation of half moon, which without a bind is challenging in itself. So allow your body to let it do what it needs to do. Let it naturally come into that. And that might be the release of the bind and coming into that balance, right? It's more natural to feel it in that way because we're used to it, where our hips are almost sort of stacked. With a bind, they're almost a little bit closed off. Yeah, so not being married or assigning value to the fact where your hips are. Let it feel good. Let the breath still feel fluid. Take another deep breath in. Full deep breath out. Slowly start to release the hands down towards the mat. Both feet meet. Forward fold. Hang out here for a moment. And take a halfway lift. Deep breath in. Full deep breath out. Release. Inhale all the way up. Extended mountain. Lock the thumbs. A little bit different. Palms forward. Reach up and back. Some extension here. Length through the spine. Length through the chest. Then exhale, forward fold all the way back down. Halfway lift, last one, inhale. Exhale, option to flow. Very last time, at least that I'm gonna cue. So very last time that I'm gonna cue. Meet me in downward facing dog. Good. And just a little bit of release from that work. Right leg comes high, inhale, then right foot outside of right thumb, step up lunge. Then reaching back, right hand for that left foot, finding a quad stretch, maybe a little bit of a hip flexor stretch, but you kind of have to work yourself into what feels good for you. That might be pointing the right toes out slightly to the right. That might be dropping the hips down slightly, pressing the left foot into the hand, but definitely protect that left shoulder. So it's underneath, or it's stacked on top of the wrist, but roll it back if it's sort of jutted in towards the chest. Roll it back, protect it here. Yeah, good team. Belly's engaged, belly's on. Back to that intention. Where are we at right now? Where are we at today? And slowly release that left foot back down to the mat. Wiggle the right foot back in towards center, hands plant, tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. Send the right foot high, might open and stack it here, just flossing it out, finding small circles with the right leg. Maybe flipping your dog feels good. You shift forward, stack the shoulders over the wrists before you roll over to the left, just to protect those shoulders, but you might lift the hips, the chest. That's a big heart opener for what we've practiced. So it's up to you and your body if that's going to feel good. Then just start to meet me in downward facing dog when you're good and ready, sending the hips up and high. But a nice release to all that flexion, sort of releasing through the front body, some extension there. Take a deep breath in, full deep breath out. Good, left foot this time, send it high and a breath in. Step it outside of the left hand, so pinky side edge. Lower the right knee down, finding that quad stretch on this side. So same things to check in, maybe lifting and pulling the belly up a bit, maybe kicking the foot into the hand, but definitely that right shoulder down on the mat, roll it back, protect it here. Acknowledge the slowness of the breath. Let's slowly start to release that back foot, frame that front foot, maybe wiggling it back towards center, but tucking the right toes behind you, lift the right knee, send the left foot up and back. Let me open and stack the hips, flossing it out here, finding small circles one direction or the other. If you decide to flip your dog, just shifting forward, shoulders stacked over wrist. Yeah, or maybe moving the hands back underneath the wrist so you can barrel roll off the side of the mat. Lift the hips, lift the chest, protect that grounded shoulder still, and then coming back, downward facing dog. And then when you're good and ready, start to bring the knees down to the mat, finding child's pose here. Maybe check in, since we're in the same pose as how we started class. Is there any difference that you'd like to acknowledge, but maybe not assign anything to? Is there a bit of ease in the breath? Maybe it's a bit heightened. Maybe the awareness is heightened. Maybe there's an open door, an open window that becomes more visible. Maybe there's an interesting connection of dots that you didn't see before. Some clarity in the miracles at work before us. I think about the people who have been late to work and maybe there was an accident at the intersection they would have been at, but it wasn't meant for them. Think about the choices of the jobs we haven't taken, the people we've met by chance. There's a story that Sophie and I have where we actually ran into each other in Times Square without knowing the other was in the same city. Right? So in New York, this was years ago. How does that happen? Because it's meant to. We were available to witness it. Our eyes weren't down, we were looking up. Take a deep breath in. Deep, full breath out. And eventually you just start to press up gently enough to where you can just swivel the heels off to one side or the other, coming down into a seat, sending the legs out in front of you. So still gonna work to a little bit of alleviation to all the flexion that we did. So pulling the right foot in to press into the inner left thigh. Ooh, I'm not opposite you. Opposite you. There you go. So just pretend what I said was right. It was right, but now I'm doing it with you. Send the fingertips high. And then just turn over the left leg and find a deep flexion in. I like to actually use my right hand to pull into my left leg, reaching my left hand way over to the left, just giving myself some space here. Now, what we want to think about is that bent right knee, pressing it down towards the mat so you can feel a little bit of space through the right hip, the outer right hip, maybe the right side body still. And those miracle moments are a bit like when you've met people and the connection has been instant. So they're strangers, but not. You've known them all along, but how? Because you've allowed yourself to witness it. And that takes courage. And then slowly start to walk your hands over to the right. So right hand comes outside of right hip. That's supported wild thing. So really lift the hips, pressing down through the right hand, reaching the left hand maybe back behind you, still protecting that grounded hand, that grounded shoulder. Maybe the left hand supports the crown for another round of breath, deep breath in. Slow release down to the mat and just switching sides. So right leg comes long, left sole of the foot, inner right leg. Sweep the fingertips high on an inhale. Big turn over to the right. Same thing, left hand can come outside or capture the right hand. Maybe that right hand reaches way over to the right, but think about the left knee is guiding it down towards the mat. Feeling some release in that outer hip.
Down easily, baby. Lay me down on forest floor. Sitting here so long now, different kindness, no one around. It's all who's below.
And slowly start to walk the hands all the way over to the left, finding that supported wild thing on this side. So left hand plants, left shin presses down into the mat. Lift the hips, reach the hand back. Maybe you're supporting the crown with the right hand as you take a deep breath in. Deep breath out, slow release. And the hips down to the mat. Then eventually just the feet straight, long, and start to come all the way onto your backs, however you want to get there. You might take a long stretch, so reaching the fingertips overhead, toes long. Feel the length in the body. Then arms down by your side, big bend in the knees, soles of the feet down onto the mat. Sending the right foot up towards the sky, just flex the right toes back towards you, then figure 4 variation. So maybe you're just here and you use your right heel of your palm to press the right hip forward and that's enough. Maybe you'd like a little bit extra by guiding the left knee up towards your chest. Keep pressing the right knee away from you, but that figure 4 addition. You can reach the hands underneath the left thigh. Practice what feels good in the body for you. We're going to take a different variation for that outer hip in a moment. And take 2 more rounds of breath here in your figure 4. Deep breath in. Full deep breath out. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And then keep the figure 4. Just let the left sole of the foot come down to the mat. And then let everything fall over to the left. So the right sole of the foot plants down onto the mat or onto the grass outside of it. And that right knee pressing it forward towards me. So you get a little bit of a stretch in that outer hip. And a bit of a release. And if anything, there's a lot of gratitude for being able to be here as a community, to show up to your mat, to witness your body in motion for a full hour on this day. And slowly start to come back through center. Finding a release any way that feels good to you. It might feel good to send the legs long, or maybe knees in towards your chest, giving them a squeeze. Anyway, let's practice that choice here. And then slowly start to come back to center. So you can switch slowly the left sole of the foot up towards the sky, flexing the toes back towards you. And finding your figure 4 variation for about 3 or 4 breaths, just like we did on the other side. Maybe adding by guiding the right knee in towards your chest. Maybe keeping it right here in the heel of the hand, pressing into the left hip, pressing that knee slightly forward if that feels good. There's a lot of opportunity for choice in this moment. There's a lot of opportunity for choice in most of the moments we experience. So to let the right sole of the foot come down to the mat and then guide everything over to the right as the left sole meets the earth beneath us. And that left knee guided forward. One more full deep breath in. Full deep breath out. And start to come back through center and offer yourself any restorative posture that might feel good here before you come into your final resting pose. And eventually, as soon as it feels good for you, start to settle into the mat, settle into your final resting pose in any variation that makes sense. It could be soles of the feet together, that could be arms wide, feet wide. And maybe just for a moment before you allow yourself the freedom to sort of check out and be here, you acknowledge the moment, you become present to your surroundings. You're a witness. You're a witness to your life. Maybe allowing yourself to release something that no longer serves you or to invite in something that has presented itself. Maybe start to deepen your breath. Taking your time, but rocking over to your right or left side. When you get there, take a moment, take a full round of breath. Be witness. With your eyes closed off, gently pressing up to a comfortable seat. Hands can rest down on your thighs, or maybe one on your belly, one on your heart, maybe both at heart center. Taking a deep breath in, full inhale. Full exhale, release. Your hands to heart center if they're not already, and just maybe send out gratitude and send it inwards for this community, for these moments, for the unexpected miracles, small or big, that this has created. And truly with so much gratitude from me to you. Namaste.
I'm crying. Is that
Thank
okay?
you.
I'm crying.
Yeah. Amber's in
Yeah.
my ear.
I'm
She goes, I'm
I'm just
crying. Is that okay? I love you. It's so cute. She's moving around her office. She was like, I got things to do, and now I'm right here. I'm very, very, very grateful for you all for showing up virtually, in person, for this community. Like, hearing what this community has done for so many people is just a really special thing to witness, and a special thing to be a part of. So I can't wait to continue with it. I can't wait for everyone else to continue with it, and let it provide little miracles, or very big miracles. That's all. Happy last time. Happy last